Cancer, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late May 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Cancerians. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going, my guides. Talk to me. What messages, energies, insights do we have for the beautiful Cancer Collective here in late May? Getting pretty close to your birthday season, my friends, about a month away at this point. But yeah, let's get your first card out here. We're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Cancer in late May. Please and thank you. Let's get this first card out here for my friends. What's going on? Nice and quick. There it is. Okay, we have the Alchemist Hermit type of energy, which could be good. This card always means so many different things to me. For some of you, you might be in Hermit mode, but there could be a object of your focus, like something that's taking up a lot of your brain space. But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the May subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk a little bit more about this card. So, I do call it the Alchemist / Hermit. So for some of you, maybe you're connected to a Virgo and they're showing up here. Now, this is from an Oracle deck. It's not a tarot deck. And we see this individual has the alchemical symbol for the sun right over their third eye, which is very illuminated, looking at that potion very deeply. So maybe there's something you're working on, or maybe there's just something that's taken up a lot of your focus. I could also say that when this card shows up, maybe you're under someone else's microscope, right? Like maybe someone's watching your moves and stuff like that. But a big thing I always say with this, if you're not purposely pulling back your energy and in hermit mode yourself, which is a Cancerian thing to do from time to time, you need some time alone to think sometimes. To me, this is a card that is very knowledgeable, extremely spiritual. So this could be a good thing, especially if you're trying to create something or manifest in this time. There could be a higher interest in spiritual topics and spirituality in general, but there is a big focus on something. I could say that for sure. So we're just going to put him down right there. Let's get into tarot now. And I always say the first card doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness here. Let's shuffle it up one time for the Cancerians, my God Spirit team. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled, They Are Planning, and the big theme in the reading last week was strategy. So whether it's Spirit saying like, hey, Cancer, you need to plan your way forward, or you need to plan for every eventuality. To me, it also did feel like maybe there's someone you're linked to that had some plans in the works. So just know that that energy could still bleed over for the coming days and weeks. Let's see what we have for you now, though. Let's see what we have for you this week. As you know, energy is very fluid. It's never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or someone that you're linked to. Let's get it going. 3 cards for Cancer, please, and thank you. Let's see what messages and insights we have for my good friends. Okay, we have the 7 of Swords in position number 1. So, I mean, either that's something that is unseen right now or something we're really going to need to watch out for. Okay, and we will. We'll talk about it. Obviously, that's just our starting position, but let's get a couple more. I mean, it makes sense with what I've been seeing in the rest of the zodiac. Oh, okay, so we have the Tower as well. Okay, I've been seeing this Tower way too often for this week's readings. Obviously, it's nothing to get super nervous about. Let's get one more, and we'll piece it all together. Thank you. Okay, Chariot, that's your card. So there is like forward movement after this Tower, which is a good thing, I would say. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. So at first glance, there are a couple of things that are really taking up my attention with the 7 of Swords and the Tower here on the front end. I will also say when we have the Tower and the Chariot, both are extremely powerful energies, probably a couple of the most powerful in the whole entire deck. So there's a really powerful energy here. That's the best way I could put it for now. Because it's like, yeah, we have this unseen energy, and then it's like, boom, boom. It's like just pushing forward real quick. So let's go through piece by piece and like really start to build this out. So position number 1, we are starting off with the 7 of Swords. And it kind of makes sense when we have a Tower there. Now, this card has a rough reputation for a reason, right? And I'll give you some of the positives first before we go into the challenges. When it comes to the positives of the Seven of Swords, I think of this as just something that's outside your view right now. Because you see this person, they're sneaking around with the sword. So yeah, it could mean a lot of rough things, but at the same time, it might just be something you don't quite see. So whether it's dealing with a situation, maybe it's somebody that you don't have contact with right now. It's just something that's going on outside of your view. So we could think of mystery, something unexpected, possibly something surprising. The clarifier for this is going to be extra, extra important. Now, when we get into the challenges of the Seven of Swords, it could represent some dicey individuals, right? It could represent people that aren't super trustworthy. There might be something going on where you're like very skeptical about it. There could be somebody you're connected to that you really want to keep a very close eye on, right? Like this is a very snaky type of energy. I would say watch your finances, watch your assets, and just be cautious in this time whenever this is here, because it could be a warning. But best case scenario, I already told you, it could just be something that's outside of your view. Okay? And it makes sense, especially since it's right next to the tower. Now, moving to the center, we have our good friend the tower. And as I mentioned, you're not alone in receiving this card this week. There's been a lot of zodiac signs receiving towers. Okay. Now, I always say they could be really, really good, or they could be really, really rough. The main theme of every tower is shock. And you know that if you're interested in tarot and you've seen a bunch of readings or even read for yourself, towers are just something that come in out of nowhere. Makes sense. Kind of like the theme we're building here. It's some sort of shock. Now, once again, this could be some sort of foundation that needs to be rebuilt. This could be you hitting the reset button on something. I also say that this is a very vital, explosive type of energy as well. So this could speak about like a burst or an explosion of energy of some sort. So, I mean, that could be temper, but at the same time, it could just be a burst of energy and motivation in its best form. It's all about harnessing it, right? Because it's like super, super powerful. So the imagery is scarier than what it truly is, because with all this mystery here on the front end, the clarifiers are going to be really important to tell us whether these are really, really positive or if they're something that are going to be a warning that we're going to need to look out for. Now, getting to the back end, we have one of your cards. We have the chariot. So in my simplistic style of reading, when we clarify this, it could tell us a little more detail about things that are coming towards you, what you might be feeling. And the chariot is in full flight. It's a card of action. It's a card of forward movement, forward momentum. So when I see it, I think you're either going away from something or moving towards something. This could represent transportation, like vehicles and how you get around and traveling and distance. It could be so many different things, but it's highly determined. So when I see this, I'm thinking action and movement, which makes sense, and I like it. When I see the Seven of Swords and the Tower, this card of action, that's your card, tells me, okay, you're going to keep moving forward, even after whatever this is, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, you're going to keep pushing forward, which is really good. Now, when it comes to the challenge of the chariot, I always like to mention that chariots were originally made as instruments of war, so they can represent conflict, whether it's conflicted feelings or just button heads with somebody. Especially when we have towers here, you're going to really want to watch out for conflicts with other individuals in this time. Especially ones that just like seemingly pop up out of nowhere. But we are going to dive deeper on all of it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle for the Cancerians here, my guides and spirit team. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot. Because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Seven of Swords. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Cancer, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, let's get in on that 7. What is happening here? Quick, very quick. First shuffle out. Judgment. Okay. So whether this is like someone behaving in a way that you didn't expect, or to me, it's like an unexpected or surprising action. Hopefully, and we'll see as we get more detail as we move through, but another one, it's like we have the top 3 most powerful cards in your spread. Very, very explosive in general. So like with the Tower, the Chariot, now we have Judgment, extremely Plutonian change-based type of energy as well. So I feel like it's one of 2 messages that we see here, maybe even 3. For a portion of you, there might be a situation where you finally gather all the facts and you pass a judgment on it, on whether this is something that's right or something that's wrong. For another portion of you, this could be an unexpected or surprising change, something that shifts very quickly, okay? Especially like something you don't quite see coming. But when I see judgment here underneath the Seven of Swords, it could be an action as well, right? So somebody acting in a way that you didn't quite expect, or like, oh, I've never seen that side of this person, or I didn't know you had it in you type of energy. So it's like those three main messages. So I would be aware in this time. I still want to see what shows up throughout the rest of the reading. But once again, just to recap that for you, one, it could be an unexpected or surprising change. It could be you literally gathering facts and passing a judgment about a situation or a person within yourself, or just somebody acting in a way that you've never quite seen. So like an unexpected or surprising action. Let's keep moving forward. There's too much surprise here for my liking, but let's see what the Tower has to say. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully we get some silver linings here, but let's see what the Tower has. And we'll get into the Chariot, because there's still much more detail. It's just very powerful type of energy in this spread this week. There's the Tower here. Yeah, deck is being specific. There we go. Okay. All right. So a lot of Cancerians in this time, you might feel like, so, all right, we have this energy of change in the front, but you might be like, all right, well, something has to change. Like something about this situation, or just something in general, it's not working right now, and let's hit the reset button on it. Okay. So there could be various different situations where you want to like clean slate, start fresh, hit the reset button. It's kind of giving me that kind of energy here. Okay, especially since both of these cards represent shocking or unexpected change. They do. Okay, now the Two of Pentacles in the upright, getting a lot of karmic archetypes now too, like with Judgment, the Tower. Now the Two of Pentacles in reverse. Two of Pentacles in the upright is generally a card of harmony. It's a card of balance. It's things that are usually like, all right, things are starting to come into a state of balance. When it's in reverse, it's like, okay, something is off here, something is not working, and we got to do something about it. Like it's giving me that vibe. So whether that's career based, whether that's work based, personal relationships, could be all three for some of you out there. To me, it's just like either a shocking change or deciding to like scrap it all and start fresh. Like it's giving me that type of vibe. So we're just going to keep moving forward. I mean, I don't often feel this type of energy coming from the Cancer collective. I would say we could have some warnings here for sure, like with this explosive energy all over the place, but let's keep moving over to the Chariot and see if we get a better end result to all this stuff that's happening up here. So let's go in on that Chariot. What is happening here? Thank you. Okay. Page of Pentacles in reverse underneath here. Okay, so for a portion of you, this could just represent you, a person that you're not speaking with, or that you're deciding like, listen, I'm not going to ask permission. It's like giving me that kind of vibe. I don't want to say this is confrontational. For a portion of you, watch out for verbal altercation and confrontation in this time. But when I see the Page of Pentacles in reverse underneath the Chariot, it's like, all right, I'm not asking permission. I'm going to do this, and that's what it is. It's like giving me that type of energy. So could this be tied into what we had here in the front? Like, oh, I didn't know this person had it in them. Or to me, it's very take charge. That's what I'm picking up here on the back end with the Chariot and the Page of Pentacles in reverse. It's like, okay, no, this is what's going to happen. This is how it has to go, and that's what it is. Like, I'm not talking about it. This is not a discussion. And you might literally even say those words in this coming week. It's like, end of discussion. Like, this is not up for debate. This is not up for discussion. And this is a very firm type of energy, especially for a water sign like Cancer. And I know I have 2 water placements, major water placements myself. Generally, we're more go with the flow. This is not. This is like, yeah, well, I'm not going with the flow anymore. I'm bringing a damn typhoon. It's like giving me that kind of vibe here. So whether this is just things that you're feeling within you or things that actually materialize, I would expect many shakeups here. That's just how this feels to me. And they don't necessarily have to be bad, but if something's not working, if something's a little off, I totally get it. Like, you can't keep doing the same thing if you're not getting the results that you like. Let's go through and do a quick recap here, Cancer, because there's just a lot of powerful energy here this week. If you kindly look in the box, position number 1, we started with a bang, right? We have the Seven of Swords with Judgment in the upright. So I said this is like one of three things: either someone making a move or an action that you didn't see coming, like I didn't know you had it in you type of energy. Another vibe, you might be literally passing a judgment on something, saying like, all right, well, this is my decision, this is my choice. But another vibe here is like that unexpected or shocking change. We have it here. Moving to the center, we have this Tower with the Two of Pentacles in reverse. Like if something's not working, it could really bubble up within you. Like if you feel like it's a workspace thing or a career thing or a relationship thing, it's like, okay, I want a clean slate. We're hitting the reset button here. Something's not working right. Let's brainstorm and make something happen. So the shocking energy and the energy of change is all over the place for you. Very explosive. Onto the back end, we have the Chariot with the Page of Pentacles in reverse. And to me, it's like, I'm not asking permission. This is what's going to happen. And that's it. End of discussion. And there could literally just be somebody that you're choosing not to confer with, someone you're choosing not to speak to. So watch out for communication issues or conflict. So yeah, please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Let's get you a shadow card. And let's see what's in the shadows for you, Cancer. Let's shuffle it up one time, my guides. What do we got in the shadows here for Cancer, please? And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see just yet. Shadow cards do not always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. What do we got here? Oh, and yes, if you've made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. If you're interested, I'll put a link for it down in the comments. And I really appreciate all my channel members. Thank you so much. All right, let's get this shadow card out here for you. What do we got in the shadows? Thank you. All right, Two of Swords, a little bit of mystery. And now might be a time where lack of detail, lack of clarity, and any sort of mystery is not going to sit well with you. That's a big vibe, especially with the Two of Swords coming up as a shadow card. Generally, this card could be someone that's a little indecisive. They don't know what to do. They don't know which way to go. The total opposite of what we have here, because all this energy is very strong, very decisive, very action-oriented. When this shows up in the shadows, it is telling me that, listen, you need all the full details on something before you make a move. That's a big vibe. But once again, expect the unexpected when the Two of Swords shows up in the shadows. Okay? And if you are indecisive about something, I really don't feel like you're going to be indecisive for long. Now, if we are talking about the positives of the Two of Swords, they could all represent being at a crossroads. Now, if change is what you're looking for, if change is what you're wanting, if you are wanting a clean slate, the Two of Swords to me is positive for that. Because it's like, yeah, there's some unknowns involved with a card like this, but at the same time, there is a crossroads, and you're going to have to go left or go right. Okay, so do with that information what you will. Maybe someone you're connected to is confused as well, so keep that in mind. But yeah, Cancer, that's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the May subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a one-on-one personal reading with me, you could check out my digital calendar at mastermetaphysics.com. But for the May subscriber surprise, we're doing a winner's choice this month, my friends. 2 lucky subscribers will get their choice of either the Everyday Witches Tarot, which is a wonderful deck. It's one of my favorites. Or you can choose a crystal pendant of your choice from my website. They're homemade. The energy is luscious. They're beautiful. So it's winner's choice there. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments where in the world you are from. You don't have to give me your home address or anything like that. It could be your country, state, province, whatever it might be. You'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love. And I'll see you again soon.